It's true, Horatio. On my honor. Turn that thing off. Maybe it's you, huh?
You can't die.
Don't talk about such things.
You're immortal.
It's petty of you to cast stones at the way I live. After all, it's the way you live too, huh?
Does it really matter what I think?
Everything matters. My little cornflower. Admittedly, thinking is not one of your great talents.
Then why can't we go on our trip?
Because, Honeycomb, I am dying.
Impossible.
No, someone is killing me.
Don't be absurd. Don't say things like that. I'm superstitious. Let's just go to Switzerland. Dr. Gonda's injections always revive you.
Even you cannot revive me. You're useless. It's not that I don't want to take the trip. No, I like to travel, especially with you. People stare. They say, "Ugh, disgusting."
The men always look at you.
It keeps me young.
Why don't we just finish packing and go?
Because, my young friend, I am afraid. Something is happening to me. Something I don't understand. I have experienced almost everything. Pain, love, hate, fear. This is new. Loss. Mirror, mirror on the wall. A new one. Trenches. You see?
Yes. You are dying, Egypt. Dying.
Makes a great museum tick. Teamwork. The trouble is, Mr. Fulford...
Oh, please call me Harry, sir. Everybody does.
What I really don't understand, Mr. Fulford, is what you do.
Well, the publicity, of course.
That's what your job description says you do, and that's what you say you do. But where's the evidence? I've been here some weeks now, and what do I read? Nothing.
Oh, there was a nice piece on your appointment, sir. Oh, here it is.
It's full of errors.
You can only give them the stuff. They write what they want, sir.
I'm here to do a great work.
Oh, yes, sir.
To build a museum that will astonish.
Oh, it'll be great, sir.
A museum that will be full, not only of treasure, but also of people. It's about time those people began to learn we are here, Harry, and that's your job in the team. The trouble is, you're not doing a very good job.
Well, you see...
You take my point, Harry? Good. Then I shall expect to see teamwork in action. All for one, one for all. Prompt, imaginative action. Good morning, Harry.
You want more?
If I'm to help you, Madam Sharansky.
You know, the trouble with doctors, Doctor, is when I was younger, they were romantic. I mean, glamorous. There was some mystery, as with priests. Now, it's all so cut and dried.
I deal in facts, madam. The more facts I have to deal in, the more
The more expensive it gets. I am dying.
We're all dying, madam, from the moment we're born.
Spare me the philosophy, thank you. I'm not just dying. Someone is trying to kill me.
If someone's trying to kill you, which I very much doubt, we'll find out about it.
I hope you find out about it before I am dead.
Now, we were going over your symptoms. You complained about dry skin.
Yes, and the nails. You see, huh? And the hair that falls. Between us, Doctor, this is like the confessional, eh? So many symptoms. It really began with the dancing.
Dancing?
My foot went numb.
Who is she?
We don't know. Not even sure that she's a she.
What are you trying to find out about, it?
All kinds of things. The x-rays should tell us if there's anything in the wrappings or figures or jewelry. And they'll show what build it had, how old it is, how old it was when buried, perhaps even what it died of.
Well, I don't think there's any question.
It's very interesting.
What's interesting?
As I said from the beginning, we're going to have to unwrap her.
Well, I thought you said you didn't know if it was a her.
I have an instinct in these matters.
Well, it's a shame to have to unwrap after all the trouble they went to.
Was it a lot of trouble?
They don't even take so much trouble today. What undertaker would give you a set of those? Just for your viscera.
What? Your insides.
They even embalmed them. Insetti took the liver and gallbladder. Hoppy, the heart and lungs. The small intestine and stomach went into Dwamutef, and Kebsner gobbled up everything else.
Well, you gotta admit it worked.
Yeah, but that's the trouble. It didn't.
She's there.
The best preserved bodies are those that were laid in the hot sand.
By the time we came to this one, they'd started using natron to preserve them.
And then after 70 or 80 days of that, they'd cover her in sweet-smelling unguents and wrap yards of bandage round and round her.
The way it now looks as though we'll have to take off, but it's a shame.
Well, what difference does it make?
Well, once we unwrap, that's the end of our mummy. We'll have to throw it away.
Throw it away? Well, how do you do that?
In the usual way.
Well, it's not just a bit of old rubbish. It is a body.
What a quaint idea.
Say, just how do you get rid of it?
We all have our little secrets, and that's one we don't tell. Now, you'll have to get out of here. We've got to get some work done today.
That'll be $3.95.
What is it? Pills?
Yes, ma'am.
$3.95. Is it any good?
Very potent stuff.
Pills he gives me when I am dying. You're not making a mistake.
No, ma'am, we don't make mistakes.
Viewing the corpse. That's what they all say. You sure you got it right?
That's what the doctor ordered. Check and double check.
I'm being murdered. It is a conspiracy, and you are all in it.
Questions, Harry Fulford.
It's all in a day's work, Bridget, darling.
You want to know a lot of things that are none of your damned.
Well, I still know how to find out what I want to know. I just ask an intelligent, beautiful woman.
Sure, and it's a glib tongue. How do you stay out of jail?
Never mind. Say, we could go to lunch.
Look what lunches have done to me. Lunch is out.
Oh.
But try dinner. You get nothing for nothing in this life, Harry. You put it all in your expense account, of course. That's the trouble with modern life. Completely corrupt.
Yeah. You know, looking at you across the table, I can't understand why you never got married.
Well, it's not that I haven't been asked.
Oh, naturally.
It's just that I've been asked by a lot of jerks, and I'm fussy. Too fussy. But hopeful. I always think next time it'll be better.
But a good-looking woman like you shouldn't have any trouble getting a fella.
You don't mean that. I know you don't mean it.
I do.
Well, then it's cheap, underhanded flattery because you want something. But, Harry, I don't mind. I like it. So go ahead. What do you want?
I'd like to know what they do with their mummies.
Is that your problem, Harry?
No, I'm serious. Like the one Sanderson's working on now. When he gets finished, how does he get rid of it? What does he do?
That's all you want to know. You won't tell anybody? He's got an arrangement with the medical school. Passes it on to them and they get rid of it. They're experts with dead bodies.
That's it. The body. Waiter. 2 brandies. Double brandies. You're a dumb.
Hi.
Hello. Madam Kerensky called.
Yeah?
Again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My God. Excuse me.
Are you visiting, sir?
Oh, no. I'm new business.
I beg your pardon?
I came to see about a possible burial.
If you'll come this way, sir. Now, if you'll just sit there, Mr.
Fulford.
Yes, Fulford. Cigarette. Now, you have the medical certificate of death?
The what?
No doubt it's at the hospital. I'll get it when we pick up the remains.
Oh, no, it's not at the hospital.
At home, perhaps?
No, she's at the museum.
Museum?
Yeah, but what is all this about a medical certificate of death?
You must have one, Mr. Fulford.
Yeah, that's another problem. But we'll get to that later on.
Without the medical certificate of death, we can't complete Form 17. And without Form 17, we can't get our burial certificate. Without...
Later. How much is it going to cost? I beg your pardon.
I did come to the right place. You do bury people, dead people.
You provide a complete service.
Well, don't give me all that malarkey. All I want to know is what will it cost? Then I'll know whether I want to go ahead.
If you'll just come this way, sir.
Is that the price?
The price is marked off for the complete funeral. No extras. Unless you'd like a concrete vault.
No, Mr. Jones, it's a body we're burying, not the crown jewels.
You don't like it?
Oh, sure. Sure, the coffin's okay if you like that sort of thing. It's the price I don't like.
We are a funeral home, Mr. Fulford, not a bargain basement.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll take my business somewhere else.
Oh, hold on a moment. We do try to cater to all types. Now, this one is $350. That's $390. And that one, $450.
You want $350 for that?
Well, as I explained before, the cost of the casket
Is the cost of the funeral. You know, Mr. Jones, I don't think we fully understand each other. And before I explain it, I think you ought to be sitting down. Your office? Why, look what it'll do for business. You'll have your name in all the papers. Now, surely you can make me a price.
What's the cost of embalming alone?
They've already done it 3,000 years ago.
We have professional standards, Mr. Fulford. At the Jones Funeral Home, we provide a complete service.
There's difficulty at times trying to get through. Mr. Jones, I have a very small budget. Now, what is the cheapest way you can bury my mummy?
Cremated.
How much? The cheapest?
I'll do it for $175. But don't tell him. You're drummed out of the association. It's all right. I'm safe. I can't do it anyway.
Why not?
Well, you haven't a death certificate. And you haven't a Form 17. And in addition, you'll need a coroner's certificate. Good day, Mr. Fulford.
What will they do? It's probably sugar.
Expensive sugar. More like saccharin.
If it wasn't expensive, you'd suspect.
It wasn't, and I do.
Have faith in the man. Then you'll be cured. And we can go on our trip.
Nothing is cured. There are the tests. They'll show. They took blood, urine, bits of fingernail, even hair.
All right, you don't want to go on the trip. Just say no. You really liked me. We just pack our bags and go, test or no tests. But you don't. I know. You think I'm a bum.
Not at all, little buttercup. That's what I think of you. I am not just dying, Horatio. I'm growing old.
What did you expect me to say?
Hopefully, since I've come clean, yes.
Can't give you a certificate just like that, Harry. There are too many questions to which we don't know the answers.
Well, it's hardly an ordinary case.
When I sign that form, I say I know the cause of death has been definitely ascertained. Now, what did she die of?
How do I know? 3,000 years ago? Come on, be reasonable.
No, 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 no. I couldn't possibly give you a certificate without an inquest.
Well,
You wouldn't want that, would you?
it has to be. It has to be.
All right. You got yourself an inquest.
Good morning, my lovely.
Something I can do for you, right eye.
Well, actually, Ouch. Where did they come from?
Out of the woodwork. A new crop every spring.
Came to see your boss.
Now he tells me. Dr. Sanderson's in his lab. What's that?
Whoa, wait a minute. You're ahead of me. Good.
So, this is the lady who's giving us all those problems, eh?
Problems? No, not really. Or at least not yet.
We're just getting started, only.
They always smell like that?
Yes, usually. It's the materials that were used in the embalming.
Much cleaner just to rot away.
Yes. Yeah, well, how old is she?
Well, she died about 3,000 years ago.
Has she a name?
Well, there's some confusion about that. If she goes with the case, then her name is Tarkat, and she was a lady.
She doesn't, and she wasn't.
Dr. Lucas is a great expert in these matters.
The dollar says she doesn't go with the case.
All right, you're on. But no matter what, she was a lady.
That's what they all say.
Would you say she was beautiful, Harry?
Well, it's a little hard to tell.
Very, by our standards. Lovely bones. The bones last.
How much of her will you have to unwrap?
The whole thing, of course.
But if you do that, you won't be able to show her.
No, we won't.
Oh, dear. Here I am meddling again. I shouldn't be.
It doesn't matter. I'm not sure that we shouldn't have more respect for the dead and not exhibit them at all.
What do you think, Harry?
Like I said, it's the mummies. Pull them in.
You don't approve, John.
But I've never felt that we should pander to people's morbid curiosity.
Are you a fisherman, John?
Yes, as a matter of fact, but what's that got to do?
I don't suppose you use bait on your hook.
Well, it's not the same thing. Besides, once we're through with this one, there won't be anything to show.
It sure won't.
Would it bother you, gentlemen, if I got on with my work?
We are interfering, Harry. Please go right ahead, Dr. Lucas.
Thank you.
It doesn't look very promising.
Well, all we have to do is create a little interest in the lady and we're in.
All you have to do is create a little interest in the lady.
Well, work on it.
Work hard.
But he still hasn't called it, Arnie.
Well, if Steve says he'll call an inquest, he'll call an inquest. Now, why he should want it, I can't imagine.
I told him you thought a lot of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you know, civic mindedness, building up the community, helping the museum.
And he wouldn't buy that.
No. So I had to tell him the truth.
You told him it was a put-up job.
Hoax was the actual word used.
Well, you're not as dumb as you look, Harry.
Yeah, the trouble is he still hasn't called it.
Well, don't lose your cool.
It's not my cool I'm afraid of losing. I don't suppose you could have a word with him.
If Steve Wojeck says he'll do something, he'll do it. Now, shut up, will you? Stop worrying.
Who's worried? I'm worried. I think I'll call him again.
Hello?
Steve? Harry.
Harry who?
Harry.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah. Nice to get you in. Say, Steve, you know that inquest we were talking about? Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
No, everything's all right. Just no, it's great. Fine. Okay.
Goodbye.
Who's that on the phone at this hour of the morning?
Madam, what's her name?
Before breakfast? What's she like?
You know I never talk about my patients.
Oh. What's she like?
Oh, she's gorgeous. You know, every once in a while you meet a woman who, defies description. Gets to you. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, that's Madam Cherensky. Well, you asked.
I wanted you to see that for yourself, Steve.
Dr. Wojeck, there's an urgent phone call. Madam Cherensky. She says that she's...
That she's dying.
Yes.
But say you couldn't find me. No, say that I got her message and I'll call her later.
With all of our cross to bear, eh?
And this particular cross is a little more interesting than some of the others.
Isn't there some sort of regulation in this institution that prohibits that sort of thing?
There should be.
Makes me wish I had good legs.
They'll use any weapon these days.
Where I come from, she'd be cold.
Who do you want to see?
Dr. Sanderson, Dr. Lucas, Mr. Anderson, and Harry Fulford.
Oh, well, do you know where you're going?
No?
Sanderson is at the top of those stairs on the right-hand side.
Right, thanks.
John Sanderson?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's a summons.
To what? An inquest.
On whom?
Ta-ta.
It's not possible.
She's a mummy.
What is that?
It's a summons.
That's what I thought it was.
To an inquest of that Egyptian mummy.
Get me Harry Fulford.
From the coroner with his compliments. It's a summons? Yep. Hey, at last. Excuse me, Sergeant. Fulford here. Yes, sir. Yes, well, you see, my idea was that we prove to the public conclusively that the museum shows proper respect for the dead.
Well, that's very interesting, Harry. Yes? I'll call you back later. Oh, come in, John. You wanted to see me. I assume that was the reason. Sit down. I got one, too.
And so did Dr. Lucas.
So did Harry Fulford.
Well, you're not telling me this is another of his insane publicity stunts.
I don't know what it is yet. I'm keeping an open mind.
The disposal of a mummy is ordinarily my responsibility.
And it still is.
We've had no trouble in this regard in the past.
I'm glad to hear it.
And I certainly see no need for a public inquest.
Harry's point, if I understand it, is that we must be very careful of the methods we use to get rid of the body.
It's not a body, it's a mummy.
Harry's point was that the public might easily become worried if they thought we put our mummies in an incinerator.
Who suggested that?
Or just tossed them into the garbage.
Oh, he's out of his mind. We've a perfectly workable method of disposing of the remains.
Perfectly workable, as long as no one knows anything about it.
No one does.
I do. You do. And so I'm sorry to say it is Harry Fulford. And you know what a blabbermouth he is.
Well, surely you can shut him up.
Have you ever tried that? We'll have a meeting and see what we can do.
Oh, Mr. Cherwell called. You ring him about the Cherensky tests.
Yeah, get him on the phone, will you? My answer to this is no. Refer to the Crown Attorney. What's this?
Oh, that shouldn't be there. Mr. Cherwell, Dr. Wojeck for you.
Hi, Joe. Yeah. Well, it should be right here. It's a minute. No, I haven't read it yet. Yeah, here it is. That's impossible. Okay, Joe, thanks. It's impossible.
I think it's preposterous and degrading to be made mock of in this way. I want to disassociate myself from the whole affair.
We are only trying to fulfill the requirements of the law.
Pay it lip service, anyway.
Ah, the law's the law.
I refuse to be paraded in front of a public inquest on a mummy.
Not even this lovely lady?
She may have been lovely. It's increasingly obvious she was no lady.
Why do you say that?
Never mind.
He means she died violently. Poisoned, maybe.
Murder. Could we be that lucky? Can you prove it?
Yet, too soon to tell. But she did die young, and she did not die of natural causes.
I find this whole approach to serious scholarly work most distasteful. Why should we be so interested in the pathetic, dried-out remains of someone who died so long ago?
Because we're human, John, human and hopeful. She sought immortality.
Well, I doubt very much if this is exactly what she had in mind.
Don't you ever feel that some of that hoped-for immortality is brushing off on you? That inquest is definite.
Well, Wojeck said okay. We got the summons.
He must be planning to run for Parliament.
Ah, with this news of murder and all. If this isn't the most entertaining story of the year, I'll resign.
Would you put that in writing, Harry?
Dr. Wojeck. You want to see him?
Excuse me, we're wasting time. What's wrong with your face? I have some news for you.
Aha! I thought that went very well.
It did, provided you deliver.
But I have.
Harry, you're going to put me in a most embarrassing position if you let me down.
And I was just going to ask you for a raise.
I don't know whether whether someone's trying to kill you or not. It's very strange, but the fact is, madam, you're being poisoned.
Poisoned?
You're full of arsenic.
Good God. Who would do such a thing?
It's almost a classic case, Arnie, and I just about missed it.
Yeah?
Disposition towards edema, tenderness around the mouth, inflamed eyes, lost appetite, diarrhea. Even her hair and nails were affected.
Yeah.
The trick is to know what to look for.
Yeah. Well, I hope nobody tries to poison me while you're looking.
You know what finally tipped me off?
No.
Her dancing.
How's that?
Well, her foot went numb when she was dancing. The same thing happened to Claire Boufflus in Rome.
Really? You know, you're a fascinating mine of irrelevant information. Which reminds me, are you really going to do an inquest on a mummy?
Well, I'm doing it for you, Arnie.
For me?
The mummy was supposed to be murdered. At least that's the suspicion.
An inquest on a mummy.
Any messages?
Mr. Cherwell's been after you. He got your mud and he wants to see you.
Right. Any sign of the sergeant?
No.
Is that going to work?
I think so. It would have been easier to unwrap her.
Yes, that's been vetoed.
What have you found?
Oh, that there's no question. The lady and the case don't go together.
And I don't even read this stuff.
Will that settle the argument?
Let's see.
What you expect, gold?
I don't know. It's incredible.
Lead arsenate, like I said.
Is there much?
Enough. To cinch the food and drug people wouldn't pass this mixture. Where does she get the stuff?
It comes from Egypt. It cost me a fortune. I import it specially, have for years. It helps to keep me young.
There's enough arsenic in this to kill a horse. If you're plastered on thick enough. And you're cured.
Cures me of one thing, only to condemn me to another.
There are other ways to stay young.
What do you expect to find in those bones this time?
Something lethal.
If
those x-rays were right. And if...
Then I can get up. I can travel.
You can do whatever you like. You usually do.
There. That's better. You know, you are the kind of man, and I am the sort of woman who should have been born closer together. I always liked them big and strong. Well, one can't always have what one wants. What I fear most is the day when I can't have anything.
That'll never happen.
I don't want to grow old. And what is most distressing is to be intelligent enough to know that the desire to remain young is a ridiculous, impossible thing. Well, at least it's no more of these either, since I am cured.
No, I'd take those.
I don't like to take pills unless I know what they are.
Well, these aren't ordinary pills. They're the pill.
The pill? You are prescribing the pill for me?
Yes.
Is it possible I still look that innocent? No. Young? Maybe? Even the first man who proposed to me. A fascinating gentleman and very persuasive. Even he never flattered me so much.
Whether to help you stay young. The hormone helps tone the system, smooth out the wrinkles.
Hello, Buttercup. I'm cured.
Oh, damn.
Doesn't matter. Look. Positive.
Yeah, interesting. Is there any way to check it?
Maybe in my analysis of the skin.
That's very good, Werner. Very creative. They won't be able to stay away from your rocks.
Thank you.
And that just leaves your department, John.
Well, I've very little to report. I haven't altered the plans we made last month.
You've been too busy with Tarkat, I understand. But we'll want to change things, won't we?
Well, I don't see that that's necessary. After Harry here has had his circus, well, off she goes to the fiery furnace.
We could always display the ashes.
Oh, but I thought I'd told you all we're not going to cremate Tarkat. That would be a terrible waste.
Do I follow you?
Actually, I was wondering if we shouldn't give the little lady a room all to herself.
You're going to display her? After all the trouble we went through to get permission to cremate her?
What about here?
That room was reserved for the weaving. And I'm afraid that for once I agree with Harry. I think that she should be cremated.
I do.
It might be better to show her.
No, Tarkat, if indeed that is her name, is a minor, inconsequential, undistinguished non-entity. The public interest in her is morbid.
It's also enormous.
Were you ever a Boy Scout, John?
No, I'm afraid.
A pity. I'd dispense with the weaving. Be prepared.
Most elegant paper describes the detailed examination of a 14-year-old bog body.
Bog body?
One found in a bog. They're often extremely well preserved.
Now, your testimony is very interesting, Dr. Lucas, but I'm sure you appreciate the fact that what we're trying to find out is how this woman died.
Yes, I was coming to that.
So far, all we know is her name. Well, we think we know her name. We know her height, weight, and that she was young and pretty. So far, there's no clue as to how she met her death.
I was coming to it.
Perhaps now.
Certainly. We found, among other things, a heavy concentration of lead arsenate in her bones and also traces in the skin.
After 3,000 years.
The analysis of the skin is most interesting, if you'd care for the details.
That won't be necessary right now. I'm sure it'll make an elegant paper. How was the arsenic administered?
Well, it's difficult to say for certain. She seems to have been an extremely heavy user of cosmetics.
And the arsenic could have been in the preparation.
Possibly.
But could that have killed her?
It's difficult to be precise.
Well, I should like you to be as precise as you possibly can, Dr. Lewis.
I'm on oath, Dr. Wojeck. I could express an opinion, if that would help.
Certainly.
It's not so much about how as why she died. It's a poem from an ancient scroll.
Please proceed.
"7 days to yesterday, I have not seen the brother, and a sickness has invaded me. My body has become heavy, forgetful of my own self. When the chief of physicians come to me, my heart is not content with their remedies. Priests reading magic spells to cure, no way out there. My sickness will not be probed. To say to me, here he is, that will revive me. His name is what will lift me up. The going in and out of his messengers is what will quicken my heart. More beneficial to me is the brother than any remedies. He is more to me than the collected writings. My health is his coming in from outdoors. When I see him, then I am well. If he opens his eye, my body is young again. If he speaks, then I am strong again. When I embrace him, he drives evil away from me. But he has gone forth from me for 7 days.
And you think she died from love?
From vanity, more likely.
That is your professional opinion?
No. The educated guess of a woman.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. You may step down. That completes the testimony of this rather unusual case. Ladies and gentlemen, if you care to consider what you've heard, you may. Constable.
Oh, Doctor, it was beautiful. Horatio cried.
I thought you'd find it interesting.
Oh, I did. What will the verdict be?
Death by misadventure, I suspect.
It could happen to anyone.
If we're not careful.
That's true. Goodbye, Doctor. We're off tomorrow. Oh, excuse me. Horatio, watch where I'm going.
Have a good trip, Madam Zeransky.